I beat severe depression without therapy or drugs using a simple NLP trick. Now, how did I do that? Berkeley did a study where they took manic depressive patients. These were people who were maxed out on their meds and they were still depressed. And they had them do one thing every day for 30 minutes, stand in front of a mirror and grin so big they could eat a banana sideways. At the end of that study, all of these formerly manic depressive patients reported no longer being depressed. Now, how could something so simple have such a powerful impact? In NLP, we have what's called the Triad: focus, language, and physiology. When you control these, you control how you feel in any given moment. The first leg of the triad is your focus. Every human being has absolute 100% control of two things: what we focus on and the meanings we give to it. What kinds of things do you focus on when you get depressed? Your future, your present, or your past? Now, you might have had a crappy upbringing or some trauma in your past. Guess what? So has virtually everyone who's been super successful. They use that to drive them. Now, if this is you, you have a choice. You can ruminate about it and make today suck too. I've been guilty of this. Or you can decide right now to put it behind you, and you can use that experience as a guidepost for what you do want. When you focus on what kind of life you want to have, what kind of person you want to be, what goes through your mind? What do you see? What do you hear? How do you feel? For just a moment, try replacing that old, outdated garbage you had been focusing on with some of your favorite memories or a goal that gets you really excited, and see what happens to those feelings. Now, the second leg of the triad is your language. Now, say you're on a diet and you go out to lunch. When is it you actually order the salad versus whatever it is you're really craving? It's when you say to yourself, I'm choosing to lose weight. I want to look good for that reunion, or whatever that reason is for you. When you keep that message playing in your brain, is when you beat temptation. The key to taking control of your behavior is taking control of your language. Two phrases that can change your life are I choose to do this or I want to do this. Your brain will always give you what it thinks you want, and it knows that from what you say to it. An extreme example of this was a brilliant hypnotist named Marissa Peer. She'd broken a bone in her arm, and when they reset into the hospital, they didn't set it right. When they took the cast off, the bones in her forearm were jagged. So after asking around, she found a specialist for that kind of thing, and he told her you have two options: either surgery to re-break the bone, which could have caused other issues, or we do 3 months of weekly sessions where I go in and break up the capillaries and manually move the bone where it's supposed to be. He said nobody ever finishes this therapy. It's way too painful. So either do the surgery or learn to live with a jagged forearm. She told him go ahead and book all 3 months of sessions. He tried to talk her out of it, but she understood what we're talking about here. Your brain will always give you what it thinks you want. You just have to tell it. She goes in for a session and right away found out he was right. It was incredibly painful. But as soon as he started, she started playing a song from the Black Eyed Peas.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Feel your energy perk up when that song played? Change your language and tell your brain, let's get it started. I'm choosing this. I want this. I can't wait to get this done, or I'm so excited about the end result. Now, it might ask you for a second, really? You really want to do this? But just keep repeating it, and your brain will always say, no problem, and serve up more energy for you to get it done, which is exactly what happened for Marissa. By keeping the right words in her mind, she crushed her therapy sessions. The doctor couldn't believe it until she reminded him how she had done it. Now, pretty soon, his other clients had the Black Eyed Peas playing in their ears, and the success rate of his bone straightening therapy went from 0 to over 80% overnight. That's how powerful this one simple practice is. Now, knowing this, think for just a second of what kinds of things do you say to yourself when you get depressed? What words do you think? What repetitive phrases do you use? Now think again about that goal or the kind of life you want to create, and try replacing those words with, I want this, I choose this, I'm choosing to do this, I can't wait to get this done, I'm so excited about the end result, or maybe just,
let's get it started.
A great way to do this is to create a mantra that you repeat to yourself, or a playlist on your phone with songs that motivate you. It could be something as simple as yes, or I've got this. What power phrases would work best for you? Always remember, your brain will aim you in the direction of your language. Now, the third leg of the triad, and by far the most powerful tool, is your physiology. Think for a second. If I told you I had a friend who was depressed, I bet you could tell me a lot about him without even seeing him. Would their head be up or down? Shoulders back or hunched forward? How would their posture be? Are they standing up straight or are they slouched? What about their breathing? Is it full and excited or is it shallow? You know a lot about my friend even though you haven't seen him. Why is that? because you've practiced this too. We all have at times. Now, the problem is some of us get stuck there and don't even know there's a really easy way to get ourselves out of that rut. The reason we get stuck there is because emotion is created by motion. How you hold your body has a huge effect on how you feel at any given moment. Think about this. Every athlete in every sport from every culture on earth, anytime they get the big victory, what pose do they hit? V is for victory. Am I right? People who are blind since birth will hit this exact same pose when they get a victory. It is hardwired into our nervous system. Research has shown that when people hold this pose for 2 minutes, they actually raise their testosterone, which is the confidence hormone, and they lower their cortisol, which is the stress hormone, by 25% each, all just by holding a pose for 2 minutes. This is not just some pump up. You actually change your biochemistry by holding this pose. The exact same effect that happens when you hit the Wonder Woman pose. Hands on your hips, elbows flared out as far as possible, head up, shoulders back. Years ago, I got a severe brain injury, and for several years, I was incredibly sensitive to light and sound, so much that anytime my kids yelled or laughed or slammed a door, it felt like a baseball bat to my head. So I spent a lot of time alone in the dark, and I had black hefty bags taped up over the windows. Not exactly an uplifting environment. In prison, they call this solitary confinement, and let me tell you, it can definitely mess with your head. Isolation leads to depression very quickly, and having been haunted by severe depression in my younger years, I knew right away what was coming back to visit me. But this time I was ready. Sitting there in that dark dungeon, as soon as I recognized those old feelings coming back, I said, game on. Now, I knew this was going to be the ultimate test, but I wasn't worried. I'd seen how effective the method was, and I knew I just needed to be consistent with it. Sitting there in the dark, alone, in pain I can't even begin to describe. Not only did I beat depression, I even managed to keep myself on a natural high, at will, just by controlling the way I held my body. And yes, I tried the mirror trick, and it does work. Google mirror neurons if you're interested in how. Apply this, and you will never be at the mercy of depression again. Anytime you start to feel those awful feelings coming back, you can say game on and win by controlling your triad: focus, language, and physiology. Now, have you ever struggled with depression? Let me know in the comments, and please forward this to someone who might need it. This info could change their life, just like it changed mine. And check out my next video where I showed you how I also kicked anxiety to the curb.